guys, my name is Miss Phil. Welcome to yet another episode of Pulse Let's Talk. And today we're just discussing about the holidays. Yani kubajetia sherehe, enjoyment. No matter how you want to call it, we need to know how to make money and how to have fun with it. But also, is it important to budget for this money that we want to have fun with? And we are joined by our favorite guest for the third time in a row, Amos Ngahu. Unatupenda hivyo? Yeah, karibu sana. Yeah, and today he has his book, by the way. Sijui utaki kujintroduce. Unajua kila siku tunakuanga na new audience. Uambie unaitwa aje, what you do, and about your book before we go into the conversation.
Yeah, my name is Amos Ngahu, and I'm a coach, financial coach, and an author. And my work is to help guys relate better with their finances. Yeah, that's all I do. Okay.
Yes, and today we want to know if it's important to have a budget ya sherehe. Representing all the young people, you know, the squad ya kila mtu young. Tunapenda sherehe. Wakenya wanapenda sherehe. Sasa, I don't know. First of all, kuna budget ya sherehe. Najuanga kuna budget ya rent, food, school fees. But, you know, these are the times when you have fun, even on the weekends, minus the holidays. Are we supposed to have money aside for that?
Well, it's interesting. I think we should start from where we are. A lot of people are doing these sherehes, as you call them. People are having a lot of fun. And it's surprising because right now we are hearing there's a fuel shortage. And the price is still high. But come Easter, you'll still find guys doing the sherehes. You'll find guys doing drives. You'll find guys on holidays. So money is there. And whether guys are budgeting or they don't budget, people will still have fun. But the question we should be asking ourselves to have fun, are we borrowing to? This life is short, and I agree with a lot of people. You must kind of a lifestyle. I want to so yes, you should have allocate for ending should be budgeted for. If you want a budget, you can Google a budget. So that is theory. Ile tunasemaga hiyo ni
store.
If you know you are a spender, and I remember last time we discussed about money personalities, and we talked about spenders, and we tend to be, when it comes to sherehe, a lot of us are spenders, and it may not even be drinks. There are people who just love traveling and they have huge budgets. So I feel like the first thing we should do, my budget is normally biased towards people who want to grow their money. So I normally tell people, create an environment where your bad behavior cannot survive.
Okay.
Meaning that you get rid of disposable cash. You understand? So, for instance, if you're planning this Easter to do sherehes, make sure you have removed the money for investments, money for savings, that you're only left with some money, cash, for that particular event, so that when it's over, you know that my budget is done. But if you don't do that and you go in with all your salary, or with all the money that is in the balance in your bank account, chances are is that you will waste it. So sometimes it's always good to look at, when you're planning these things, don't have that disposable cash with you. Yeah.
But I thought the disposable cash is the one you go with for sherehe.
Disposable cash means money that you don't really have an immediate plan for.
Yeah, and then your friends are like, unajua nini Miss Phil, twende Naivasha. No, I'm just telling the truth, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, the thing is, I tell people that, assuming we are the same age and we earn the same amount of money, and let's say we even live in the same neighborhood, but let's say I have like 2 kids, okay? Both of us at the end of the month will still be broke, but yours probably went to sherehe, mine went to, because I have a bigger family, we spend. And then we also have a third person probably who invested. So at the end of the month, all of us will be broke. But one of us will be ahead in due time. Why? Because they're accumulating elsewhere. Are we together?
Okay.
So it's always good to know. And I tell people, your expenses right now, they are not different than when you have children. Guess what?
Really?
Yes, because you're still spending on yourself. So what you normally do is divert funds now to support your
children.
family. Yes.
Oh, I thought when the children come, unakaa chini, unajua, unakuwa tight on the budget and everything. I don't know, but okay, fine. So you have a budget.
Yeah.
Easter is here. Uko na budget, umesema tunaenda Coast ama tunaenda Vasha or wherever people are going. And you decide you're going with 15 Gs, for example. Lakini kuna kwanga na ka spirit. Mi sijui spirit inatokanga wapi. Unajipata tu overspend.
Yeah.
Like you've just, what do you do? How do you prevent that? That should be the question.
I tell people, for instance, let's say today is payday and money has come in. Chances are that a lot of us will go into the supermarket with our debit card. And when you're shopping, you will just pick things based on your tastes. Let me use the word taste, quote unquote. And you will not be having a shopping list. It will be in your head. You get it? Why? Because you have the security of your bank balance. You know you can do shopping, even you can estimate what you can buy, but you don't have the exact figure. That is because you've gone to the supermarket when you've gotten a text from your bank that money has come in. But what happens if you say, today I'll not go do my shopping, I'll do my list. If I am investing somewhere, let's say I'm in a circle, let's say I have a certain investment group that I invest with. So that's the first thing I should do. I have removed my money for investment. Then probably I am a giver. Probably I tithe in my church, or I give to charity, or I'm a Muslim, I do my zakah. Whichever form of giving that you do, you remove it. Before you go now to your expenses, which is your shopping and hizo mambo ya sherehe, can you imagine already half of your income is gone? Then remove, if you're paying rent, remove rent. So you will notice that money is becoming smaller and smaller, isn't it? So what happens? You will not go into the supermarket with the same mentality you had previously, isn't it? You'll actually pick out cash. So when you compare a flour of 92 bob and 90 bob, which one will you pick?
The one for 90.
Why? Because you're thinking 2 bob is a lot of money, isn't it? So you'll do comparisons. And that's the thing. You don't dive into expenses before you save and invest, or you give to other things that you have prioritized. Okay? So if you're going on a sherehe, make sure, tafadhali, I try to use the word please. And you see, the thing is, sometimes there's nothing wrong in foregoing some of these sherehes. There's nothing
YOLO! Wrong. Imagine you will die.
Yeah, but why
That's how we think.
But why are you borrowing to sustain it?
You will die eventually.
I, when I was young, I remember there was a time tulienda sherehe and then there was no a lot of mobile banking and stuff like that. And I think we went to Nakuru. Gosh, those were the days. I think I was very young. And we had planned to do an overnight stay. We were a whole van. But what happened? The first day is gone. We are still there. It's evening. We are like, it's late. We cannot travel at night. So sherehe ikaendelea. So one of us actually consumed their rent that night.
Whoa. Okay. That's extreme.
And you see, it's up to us to know when to say stop, because a lot of these things, yes, they are a lot of fun, but the following day, the first thing that hits you when you wake up is regret. You know, so sometimes it's always good to postpone. I tell people, postpone that bad decision. In fact, there's an anticipation of price hikes of fuel, isn't it? That's why probably we are looking at shortages. I don't have enough information about it. But what normally happens with prices when fuel goes up, other commodities go up, other services go up, isn't it? So in anticipation to that, because you still find Kenyans traveling home doing these sherehes around Easter time, and this is after 15, why don't you hold your plans? See how the prices will affect. If the prices go up, it is common sense for you to go and buy those exercise books that you buy, the 10, 20 of them you buy now, before the prices go up, isn't it? It is time that you anticipate that if you're in a private institution, the food budget will go up. So meaning fees might go up. So why don't you, instead of going to sherehe, sit down with your children, tell them, oh, we are supposed to go here, but look at the price, even at age of 5 or 6, that is the price of fuel right now. So we are going to sacrifice this Easter and pay a bit of school fees now. I know you have all the way till 4th. So instead of using your April salary to pay all the fees, why don't you use a bit of what you earned last month? Show your kids that now we sacrifice the holidays, we pay a bit on school fees, we compromise on, instead of going to Mombasa, let's do a Naivasha. Here there's a beach. Let's go to Naivasha, a day we come back. So that now you're teaching your kids, you are lowering expectations of your family members. Because now, if you don't do that, these kids, and if you don't communicate with them and involve them, they'll just think you're stingy. You don't want to spend on them.
That's true.
They'll start thinking that you're stingy.
Yeah.
But now they understand that prices are high, and we're in a very unique year. World prices are going up in terms of fuel. Mm-hmm. We have a war in Ukraine. It's our political season. So meaning...
It's a mix of everything bad.
So
ingredients.
If we don't prepare for these hard times, it's going to hit us. And this is the time that you prepare your family. This is the time you prepare your friends. This is the time that you say, you know what, I'm forgoing those sherehes for this particular time. Just postpone that bad decision.
Lakini tuseme tu kweli, watu wa wafungo sherehe.
But what are the options? Instead of going out, why don't you invite your friends to your place?
Okay. So like you can minimize.
Yeah, tell guys we do ambuzi. If you're coming with your drink, come with your drink. I'm sure drinks are cheaper other than clubs, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do family gatherings. They are much cheaper. You still have the same fun. I mean, go for picnics. There are always alternatives. It's only that we fix our minds that we have to do things in a certain way.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me just reiterate what you're saying for the purposes of the viewers. So what you're saying is, say tusiende sherehe, lakini tujipange. Na pia ukijipata in a very fixed or tight situation, you adjust accordingly. Unaweza have sherehe, maybe it's not, but it's still fun.
Yes.
That's what you're saying.
Yeah, and I can tell you, in my 16th year, this is my 16th year doing what I do. I can tell you the hardest part of my job is behavior change. People will not change their behavior. But you see, I may not change your behavior, but the environment around you will force you to change it, isn't it? Yeah. That's why I tell people, create an environment where your bad money habits cannot survive. And start something small. And let me tell you something. If you postpone, and I tell you, if you have to do sherehes, do them on Monday, Easter Monday. You will be so proud of yourself. You look at the opportunities that you had to lose money, but you decided to avoid them. Yes.
Why Easter Monday?
Because Monday is the last day. Because if you start on Friday, and I hear if you start tomorrow, you'll stop on Sunday.
Where? Okay. Mmesikia. I hope watu mmejipanga poa. So remember, you can send in questions that you have for our guest Amos Ngahu, speaking to us about how to budget for enjoyment. Sherehe ni lazima hii country, tusikatae. Kuna swali hapa, when it comes to budgeting, how do you differentiate what is a need and what is a want?
I tell, budgeting, I mean, this is the oldest tool in financial literacy that has been used. So if today you look at even the difference between a need and a want, just Googling will give you that information.
Yeah.
But you see now, people are in different seasons. So to me, a car might be a need. But for someone who has not eaten for 3 days, that's a luxury. That's even way above a want.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So depending on the season you are in, you can actually sit and say, based on, because again also your income determines what is a want and what is a need, because some of them are luxuries, isn't it?
Okay.
So you have to know that I'm in debt, I have not eaten, I have not paid rent. So if I only have 500, what am I going to do? I'm going to eat.
Yeah, I'm going to eat. But I wanted to say eat.
Yeah, so that we kicked out in a full stomach,
Yeah.
See, that's the whole thing. So to answer that question, it depends on the season where that person is.
Oh, so it's personal.
Yeah, it's very personal.
Okay.
Yes, because I can tell you there are billionaires who don't know about even the price of bread. They do not know.
Don't go far. I think we know one.
And there are people who are telling you they are under pressure right now because they have not paid for holiday for Easter, because to them it's a need. You understand?
Yeah.
So it depends on the season you are at that particular time.
So the season that you're in, the one that you need the most, that you can do without, that's the need.
Yes.
The one that you can do without, that's the want.
Yes. And let me tell you something. People underestimate themselves. You know, in the longest time I've done this, I'm yet to meet an idiot when it comes to money. When people ask questions, they just want you to validate. They know, they have an idea. They just need you to validate. And I feel like that's the voice we should be constantly be listening to. What I'm doing, is it validated? I know what to do. A lot of people know what to do. Even children. Just up here at the junction, I tell people there's a guy who sometimes doesn't look like he has faculties in place. But one time he knocked on my window, but then I had the boiled maize. So I was feeling a bit stingy. But the guy, I just decided to give him because it was cold. The guy walked across, sat on a small stone that he had put there, and took the maize and broke it into two. Don't worry, we're not having mass. He broke it into two
Okay.
and put one half in his jacket, what looked like a jacket, and he ate the other one. So what does that tell you? Even this guy who we think does not know what he's doing, he knows there's tomorrow or there's later. So he stored some for later. And even children know what to do with the money. But what we have, and to answer this person, is that there's too many distractions. There are too many things going on around them. That's why they may not be able to understand what is a want now, what is a need. Silence those distractions. You know what to do. Yeah.
Silence those distractions. All right, another question. These questions, I got them from social media. As a parent, how do you prepare yourself well to avoid borrowing money to pay school fees and other school expenses? So yeah, we're actually coming to that conversation because, you know, after Easter, then kids get to go back to school.
Yeah.
Na unapatanga, I think this scenario now, before COVID, when the school calendar was normal, it's just now to happen in January. December, the whole holiday, Christmas and everything. And then you find that when you come back to January and you're paying school fees, umekula pesa yote kwa hiyo sherehe ya Christmas.
Well, parenting nowadays is a very big challenge, and especially with these economic times. And what is not said is that a lot of parents are suffering more in their imagination than in real, like, physical pain. Because you're wondering, now there is no milk in the supermarket, what will be the next price? And I have children waiting. So we are so worried, we are suffering, I mean, in our own imagination before even those things happen. And one of the things, like, I was told one time, I was, you know that season, that really bad season, and I had a huge school deficit. And a new term has started, and I don't know where fees is coming from. So I go to the school, and up to date, I respect that headmistress. She was a head teacher, and she told me, listen, you don't have this money now, and you have arrears for last term. Now, do you want to build up on your debt, or you can actually homeschool even for one term and take time to restructure and do the things that you need to do? Because the more you come here, the more, because once they come to school, I load your balance, so you'll be having like 2 terms worth of school fees arrears. So I'll be creating more problems for you, isn't it?
Yeah.
So why don't you take time to homeschool, but take time to also restructure your system so that you also evaluate if you can afford the school or not. And I felt like that is the best advice you can give a parent. Some of us even stayed the whole time in high school without fee, because there was lack of it, isn't it? But for some reason, we still made it, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we are worrying about things we have no control of. But the things we have control of is, first of all, like involving these children early. It's Easter. They know. Show them the prices of fuel. Show them the prices of commodities. Tell them, when we do 1 cup of tea per day, please accept that because this is what we can afford. And then the kids start asking you now, how can we afford? How can we help? The moment you start involving them, what are you doing? You're reducing your anxiety, because now you're sharing with even your children. And what happens? The next time they want something, they will be like, do you think we can afford? That's a good place to start. Okay? And parents, please don't borrow to take your kids to school. Don't borrow. There are kids who go to government schools and they are even better off than those of you in private. Probably it's time that you exposed your child to other lifestyles, isn't it? Yeah. And we know there are good public schools. Let them see that there are other kids that are doing well in less facilities, because at the end of the day, that's not the worst thing that could happen. You're saying that you're borrowing. You may even lose the ability to borrow. Then what happens? You know? Yeah? You may even lose that job that you're relying on to pay a loan. So sometimes let's always ask ourselves, what's the worst that could happen? Because from there you start looking at, hey, I'm doing much better than I anticipated. I'm doing much better than I thought. So parents, please stop making emotional decisions, because this is what happened, and I have seen it. I have seen a parent borrowing through the circles. They pay fees, they are paying one loan. So after the guy has finished school, they have finished their loans, the guy is jobless. Guess what they do? They take a loan to start a business for the son. Boy.
Kid, what?
Yeah.
Boy.
To start for business for boy. You understand?
Yeah.
So your boy is 25 years old. You know? Yes.
Okay.
And that's the thing we need to start doing. Let's stop making emotional decisions when it comes to borrowing. Don't borrow. It is a recurrent expense. And they're the same parents saying the government is borrowing money for expenditure, which is illegal. It's the same thing you're doing. It's for consumption, you know. Yeah. So scale down. Let me tell you something. There's nothing as beautiful as scaling down. But when you're coming up, even the kids know that when the things were thick, we scaled down. When things became better, we were back. You're teaching this child to adjust to life. And that's the biggest challenge we have today. Kids don't know how to take losses. They will win. And I'm not talking about Chelsea, guys. They will win. But when they get a loss, they are sick. But life is not like that. So those parents who are borrowing money, please scale down. Go to a smaller school. Yeah? And even now, instead of going for those sherehes, pay your first school fees deposit today. Then the other one you will pay in May, and split the fees. Pay even any little money you get here, pay the balance. You can imagine if you're paying fees of about 15 to 20K. Between now and April 4th, as schools open, you can actually be at half if you're paying 500 bob per day.
I think that's actually a good message.
Yes.
I'm trying to remember how my mom used to pay my fee, and should have that conversation. Skumbuki, but I'll manage. Hiya. Another question from amazing people of social media. How does someone who earns averagely make small investments? I am a young person and I'm curious to invest, but I have no idea how to start.
That person is not very careful in their research.
Why?
Today, even the other day on my social media pages, I have companies that have even apps. And now they're coming to me because I'm in TikTok. They want to reach out to the youth. They should follow me, and they see some of the apps that they can actually download, get into the money market, start trading in stocks with very little money, some as low as even 1,000 bob. So there are many opportunities. Let them not have excuses. But at the end of the day, even with all these apps, this person must be able to know where they want to go. Because you see, when I give them an investment, that's a vehicle. You just don't go to town and board any vehicle at you're going home. No, you must know your route. You must go that, I know that I'm going to Langata, so I'll take which route, which matatu goes to Langata.
I have no idea.
Yeah. I have to know that this one is going to Langata because already I know where I'm going. So it starts with the goals, then you pick the vehicle to take you there. Yeah. So they must be able to know, where do I want to go? Am I investing for my retirement? Am I investing for just simple cash flow? Am I investing for, for my families, for education, for holidays. Those are some of the things they need to identify first before they pick an investment vehicle.
So research.
Yes.
And the purpose, or
Yes.
where you're going.
Yes.
Okay. Because where you're going will inform the kind of investment you want to make.
Yes.
Okay.
And how easily you want to get there. You know, to go to Kisumu, you can do a train.
Yeah.
Hopefully you'll get there. You can do a matatu, but there are also risks. You can do a shuttle, you can do a bus, you can do a plane. So depending now also on your strength financially, how you can be able to get there.
Okay. Yeah, but Mr. Ngahu said as low as 1,000 bob. So it ain't money that's too small not to invest. Okay, here's another question. How do I stop keeping up with my friends? I don't know how to stop this train. Oh, I don't know how to stop. It's draining my finances. Yeah.
Tell them you have a problem.
You have a problem.
Yeah, tell them you want to start a business. They need to raise 2K each for you. See how many you will raise.
Your friends.
Yeah.
So that's
simple.
how you
Just
keep it up with your friends.
just test them.
And then
Just let me tell you something. People, everybody, including your children, they are with you for what they are getting from you.
including your
Yes,
children.
yes. I tell people my 2 sons, they are my 2 little broke best
Wait
friends.
first, that's emotional damage. Okay.
Yeah, it's true. I tell people my 2 sons, they are my little best broke friends. Yes, mi ndio natoa form hadi waomoke.
Manze.
Yes, if I happen to be useless in their days, when I've retired, if I happen to be useless and I'm depending on them for cash flow, they will not pick up my calls. Seriously, that's true.
You kids.
Yes.
Okay.
You look at it this way. Today we have guys my age who have parents in the village, isn't it?
Yeah.
If your dad takes his beer or takes alcohol or whatever he drinks, when you go home, assuming you're like me, and you want to make sure they have enough flour, oil, and who will you leave the money to?
Definitely not him, because he'll drink it.
That's the point.
Okay.
You get my point now?
Yeah.
So we have to be very careful. So if this person is worried about the friends, let me tell you something. Some of the people I have made friends today are purely strangers. And it's because people have known your work, they want to interact with you, they want to buy your services. That's the thing.
But Miss Jikamona, I feel...
Let me tell you something. Those friends of yours, do you know why they are like the maximum people that can be your pallbearers? They're 6. Today, let her do that or him. Just text all of them, tell them, I need 2K, I'm raising this amount of money to do this kind of business. There's an opportunity. See how many of them will raise it. Just like that. Don't tell them it's an emergency. Tell them there's a business opportunity, I need this amount of cash. Let them do it.
So the ones
test the relationship. Let me tell you something.
Okay.
I was at the village the other day, and every time you go to the village, and I'm sure you're guilty of that, you make sure you have loose change. You have coins, you have 50 bob, so that when you meet your cousin, you give them 100. So I realized that in a year you'll spend a lot of money, isn't it?
Yeah.
How much are avocado trees? 150, 200, based on where you buy them, isn't it? So I decided to buy them. But to plant them there in the entire, even in their farms, there's a certain size of a hole that needs to be dug. And it's paid for 40 bob per hole. So I decided, instead of giving them handouts, I'll give them the work to dig those ones and I'll pay. So when I went to inspect, one of my cousins stopped working, a cover jacket, because he knew you drop him at the shopping center, you'll always give him his handout. And I told him, I'm not going with you anywhere. And I'm not giving you a handout. Go and finish your work. Do you know he was upset? And he was furious. He went saying that I owe him money. I need to pay him for those ones that have been done. But I told him, I'm not the one who hired you. It's the elder brother who is now supervising the entire work. So until the work is done, he would be paid. And he got pissed. And that's the kind of generation that we are breeding. Our generation is used to handouts, but let them put in work. So the guy, other guys came and they finished the work. So what am I saying? Test those relationships. People are with you because of what they can get from you. Even your children.
That is very sad. Don't say that again. Even your children. What? Whoa. Okay, guys, remember that we have a conversation today and we're talking about how to budget for the holidays. And in the midst of this conversation, we are also answering the questions that you sent to me. So we are also live on TikTok. Pia mnaweza tuma maswali hapo, nitakuwa nazipokea na Amos atakuwa najibu. Naona kuna msanii anaitwa Luke Jamrock anasema say hi to the man. Umepokea salamu?
Yes.
I can't plan for Easter. My savings are for school. They're in college. That's what... My savings are for school. In college, that's what makes my mind blank. Hey, look, I don't understand your question. Sijaelewa swali yako. So maybe unaweza rephrase. Aya. John Kinuthia is watching. Thank you so much for watching. Anasema very true. People are around you because of handouts. Emotional damage, but ni sawa. Haya. There's a question here. How do we navigate money in marriage? I feel like that's a broad question. We are constantly arguing with my partner because he spends so much and yet we should be planning for the future.
Money and marriage.
Or relationships. But this one is deep because it's marriage.
I think we need the whole entire Easter to discuss
this.
Yeah. Because you see the number one cause for divorce globally, we've shared this, is money.
Yeah.
People will forgive infidelity. People will forgive, sometimes even people overlook violence.
Did you say
to a certain level.
Infidelity?
Yes.
Okay.
But it is very, and in fact someone was sharing somewhere and was telling married men, please, if there is any sin you should avoid, and it's not in the Bible, is the sin of being broke.
What?
Yeah, because being broke, you lose, especially men, you lose your voice. Unasemaga pesa, money talks, eh? The more you have, the more volume you have, eh? And unfortunately, that is our society. And we have to acknowledge that when you discuss money, start at a very early age. I've liked you, I want to buy you coffee, isn't it? We've done coffee our first day and we feel like we can do another coffee, isn't it? By the time I'm on the third, we are doing the third time, we should be able to discuss, hey, listen, we want to be doing this on a regular basis, isn't it?
Yeah.
As a guy, let's say I have like, if you're doing coffee, I have like 5K I can get from my budget and we can use it. Do you feel like topping up? You say like, yeah, I have like 2K. So who's better at planning these things? You're better off, isn't it? So why don't we give you that money so that now you start planning for dates. Now you can choose. We can have it weekly, a smaller budget, or we can have it monthly with the entire budget, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what are we teaching ourselves? We are teaching ourselves to allocate small resources in agreement, looking at affordable things, and we start that conversation. All right? So as you advance in a relationship, you realize that making money decisions become easier. Along the way, I will know you're reliable in small things, I am not, isn't it? So you'll always handle that thing. I mean, old school thinking says that you should have a joint bank account. And why even our parents used to have joint accounts is because for you to get a bank account, I don't want to mention some of these banks, for you to get a bank account, you needed probably even an approval from the chief. It used to be that serious. Today, you can open an account with your mobile phone. Nowadays, they're even sending guys to come and verify. Yeah, you open an account, they send someone with your debit card, you verify, and you have a bank account. So that is old school kind of thinking. I tell people things don't go wrong, they start wrong. So when you see this person saying he's always a spender, chances are, even when you're dating, you saw he was a spender.
Oh.
You get it?
Yeah.
So what did you do about it? You've just waited all this time because something has happened, or now the budget that you had is now tighter. You know, and that's why I tell people chains of habits cannot be felt. They are too easy to be felt. Too light, you won't feel them, until it's too difficult to be broken. And that's why I feel like this person is realizing now. So the solution here is to start now like you're starting afresh, having small conversations about money, because it's such a wide thing that you can start discussing and you say, hey, this guy is a spender, so if the resources are limited, I don't understand why he's buying a new shoe. You get it?
Yeah.
But you see, there's nothing wrong with being a spender. All you have to do is create an environment that is not favoring his spending. Okay? So it's a discussion that has to go back and start. So why am I seeing his spending right now? Is it because I'm in a tough season? And start looking at how you can start that money conversation.
Wow. Start the money conversation. You said date number 3. As early as you can. Yeah. Yes. Chains of habit are difficult to be broken.
Chains of habit cannot easily be felt. They are too light to be felt until they are too difficult to be broken.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what does that mean?
It simply means there's a habit you have.
Mm-hmm.
The good thing is that there's that voice that tells you unafanya upuzi. You have you ever heard, you found yourself you're doing something, yes, but you're doing something stupid. There's that voice. It's not even Amos. There's that voice that tells you. But because there are no repercussions, immediate repercussions, so you get used to it.
Yeah.
So you won't feel it. You understand? Mm-hmm. Until the time something now big has happened and you're like, wow. Now I can't reverse it. I can't break this habit. I give you a good example.
Yes, please.
Fuliza.
Okay.
Some people have gotten into Fuliza or these other digital apps, digital lending apps, that now they think it is their money. You see, I don't know whether you get it. You have zero balance on M-Pesa or whichever map app you have, but you're assuming that money is, I have a limit, that is my money. It's not. It's someone's money. It's Safaricom's money. It's Airtel's money. It's whoever that money is. And they tell you, please use it for a better reason. Use it for if you have to emergencies. But if you can be able to borrow from me and make some money off it, then you're good. But the challenge comes in when you start assuming it is your money, that you cannot survive any month without borrowing. Now that is a problem. Now the day you lose your job, that's when you realize my habit was too difficult. It's too difficult to break this habit. Yes. Okay. And that now, it shifts to mental health.
Oh, yeah.
Which is an advanced thing.
Yeah. It's a good thing you mentioned mental health. Why is it that when you're broke, you get depressed? Is there a relationship between that?
Let me tell you something. Money has, and for me, one day I hope to do a PhD and something to do with behavioral and probably the psychology of money. And one of the things I've found with money can even increase your heart rate. If I tell you right now, I'm going to send you 10K after this.
Ooh, happy.
Look at your reaction. Look at your reaction. Because already, it's only 10K. Already your heart rate is going up and, you're anticipating that money.
Yeah.
Yesterday I was at a place, I was doing a trip. I took this guy somewhere, then I came into another session. So I'm wondering, I had not put my phone on silent. Then someone sent me money. I was like, and they were like appreciating me. And it was not much money, but guess what? It changed something. It changed my mood. And this is what we have to understand, that money works both ways. If you don't control your money, you will forever struggle because it will always control you. So it will control your emotions. When you don't have money, it's like you're hungry, you're irritable, you understand? And it worse for men. Why? Because you have allowed money to define who you are. You understand? You have allowed money to say that Amos is worth this much. Because you have allowed money to do that, isn't it? Okay. And we call it borrowed confidence. A lot of us will get our confidence from what we can buy, what we can pay for, what I can drive, because of your ability to pay, isn't it? So the moment that is taken care of because it was borrowed, that's when you realize how crazy the interest rate was. It plays with your health, it plays with your family, it mixes you up and you lose yourself. And that's now we go to the extent of mental health. Okay, so we need also to understand how much is enough for me. If I know how much is enough for me, then I know I don't need to steal. I don't need to do anything extra to do what I have. And also understanding my season. If I can find contentment, that if I am doing a matatu to here, I'm okay. And I don't care what people say. And I feel like that is the next level. I mean, it tops everything to do with financial literacy. Contentment, that is the top thing. Okay? Because you learn to be, to survive without, and you learn also to handle money when it comes, or if it's a lot, yes.
Okay. Wow, yeah. That's deep. Money and mental health. Money is definitely behavioral. Remember that you can send in your questions pale kwenye comments, nitakuwa tunaziaddress kwa hii session. So let's go back to the holiday conversation. Enjoy the biggest holiday of the year. Inakuanga Christmas.
Yeah.
Where we spend as if 1st of January will not come.
Yeah.
How can you advise people to plan for that season? Unajua Easter ni 4 days. Christmas, some companies even, send people away for like 2 weeks holiday. You get a chance to go with your family wherever you want to go. How do you prepare for that so that January sikwe January? Yeah.
I think something that has worked well, and there's a friend of mine who does tours, and I learned this from him. You see, small payments, prepayments. You see, if I pay something today, let's say I want to travel, and I hear flights to Kisumu are the most expensive internally. If I want a flight tomorrow to Kisumu, chances are I'll pay more. But if I know I'm traveling in May on a certain date, I'm going to do money gossip in Kisumu. Yeah, we are going around the country, so we better look out. So if for instance I know on May, let's say 5th, I'll be in Kisumu, and I buy my ticket now, chances are it will be cheaper.
Okay. Yeah.
Why? Because of time and the availability of the seats, isn't it? So I tell people, if you're planning for holidays, do prepayments early. Talk to your organizers, tell them, hey, I can have, and a lot of them have those packages. Let me start paying small. You will not feel it. Okay? I have a plan because this is a big year for me to travel. So I've been paying little by little, isn't it? So when you disappear, people will think you've spent millions. Yet, over time, because you took a long time to plan, it is cheaper on my end. And you see now, someone will want to do what I'm doing then.
Oh yeah.
So they'll end up paying.
See that and will want to go.
So they'll end up paying 2 or 3 times what I've paid. They don't know that I took a while to save up and pay. So even now, because this is a good time, we're still in April. You have a lot of time to plan. Start paying bits by bits. You see, if I tell you today, pay 60,000 right now, you'll be like, you may have it, but you're thinking that may be a damage to my budget, isn't it?
Yeah.
But if I tell you, pay 5K right now for a holiday, isn't it?
Yeah.
5K for a holiday, assuming you have 10 months. Every month I come for 5K. In 10 months, that's 50,000.
Yeah.
So even mentally, it looks like a small budget. And that's why you'll find, even when people are buying homes, rich people, they will go in with a mortgage. One, because income on mortgage on loans is not taxed. Okay. Number 2, they will not feel the pain of paying all of it at the same time because of the opportunity, because the capital they have might generate them income that they can pay installments slowly by slowly. So I tell people, start early, start paying in small installments, do prepayments, and you will see the beauty about this kind of things. Even if you're plan to do ambuzi in the village, my brother and I are looking for a small goat for us to slaughter it in December, isn't it? So it will cost much less now than it will cost then.
Definitely, everything is usually hiked, even a goat. John Kinyude is saying, I'm watching from Doha, Qatar. Thank you so much. He also says the guy talks a lot of truth. Just try and be broke. Even your own mother will be against you. What?
Whether we like it or not, and this is reality. If you have siblings,
when you're broke, you're just alone. I get why people get depressed.
Let me give you a very practical example, and this will affect especially guys our generation.
Okay.
What happened, and I think it still happens today. Your mom would even sit there, tell you to go get me tea. She sips once, twice, then she tells you, go hit for me. Then she'll call you, probably you outside or doing something or upstairs or whatever. She will call you, you think it's an emergency. Pass me that remote. Those are African mothers. Now, fast forward, if you have many siblings, and you make note if you have siblings.
Okay.
The one who sends her money, the day she comes, all of you will be forced to serve her.
That is very true.
You will prepare for 2 days. She will make sure there is juice, there is water. You are served. She will serve you personally.
Ooh.
All the others will be forced to kiongozi ameingia. You understand? And the same mother who was sending you the remote, calling you like something is on fire. And that is a perfect example. So what normally happens is, including even your parents, because you see, that's why I told you, money has power to do things, change people, transform lives. So it's up to us to know how to use it positively, because it's gonna affect us. Yeah, so that example is perfect. Look at our mothers. They're not even
your
go
own
far.
mother will be against. Wait, hey, nilikuwa nadhani leo tutatoka tukismile, but the revelations that you've got. Anyway, it's all for good, we learn. I can see Benson Bundi is watching. Thank you so much for tuning in. So yeah, as we conclude, maybe you want to tell people about the event that you organize, Money Gossip. Najua hii month kunayo.
Yes, yes. So I run on social medias. If you go to Instagram, you'll find Money Clinic KE. That's actually the name of the organization that we work with. That is our organization, Money Clinic, where we just treat people's problems. But we realized that we need to talk about money, hence we started Money Gossip, and that's what you'll find on TikTok. Okay. So Money Gossip also started as like a checker to check out your financial health. So we started with young guys. So every month we run it with new people. You're worried about your finances, you're concerned about, you're not really sure about the decisions you're making, you have not done a proper evaluation of where you are financially, and you just need that affirmation or that, you know, a voice that will tell you, you know what you're doing is not sustainable, or what you're doing, keep doing it, okay? So at Money Gossips, we normally have the monthly now meetings. We held one last month, and on 23rd, that is after Easter, that Saturday, we still have it. So check out our social media pages. There's a quick way to register. And this is a financial literacy month in April. And I was actually, not that I was surprised I was born this month, but I was surprised that I didn't know it was a financial literacy month. And this is when I was born. So you're actually in good hands, a guy who was born in the right month. And financial literacy month, we normally charge 2,000, but now we are charging 1,500 as a discount for the financial literacy month. Okay. And what people don't know, and the good thing is that after that you get to get a one-on-one with me. We go through your finances to see if you're in the right place. So guys are welcome to register on Instagram. We are Money Clinic KE. Our contacts are there. Press the call button, and yes, we are ready to help out, guys. And for those who want this book, I'm an author as well, Turnaround Solutions. They can also hit the DM on Instagram, Money Clinic KE. Or, and yeah, Naivas are good people, eh? They are stocking my book. We are still distributing them. So as of today, we are at Capital Center. Walk into Naivas and get your copy. Kiambu Road, Naivas. Kiambu Road, Naivas. Get in there. Then go to Mountain Mall on Thika Road. You'll get it. And soon we'll have them all over, and then we can be able to. And if you ever see me somewhere and you have my book, I'll sign it for you.
Okay.
Yes.
Amazing. I just want to read comment here, John Kinuthia. Anasema, to be honest, I lost my job in 2013. I used to support, I think, the family when I was working. After some time, I was told to sweep the compound. So sad. Here's the good part, and then the emotional damage. So the good part, later I got a job in Qatar. My mom now calls me my son. And with that, we will finish the conversation of today. Guys, check your friends and plan well for the holidays. Wazazi tunawapenda sana. Tumkumbuke after Easter lazima tulipe school fees. Bye guys, my name has been Miss Phil and my lovely guest has been Amos Ngahu. Bye.